And the Prime Minister of India, just a short while back, concluded his address at the United Nations General Assembly. He spoke on a number of pressing issues, from regional to global. He did not hesitate in calling out the problematic elements or even talking about the reforms at the United Nations. Let's get in further details now and perspectives from our esteemed guest on the broadcast, Ambassador G. Parthasarathy, former Indian envoy to Pakistan. Thanks very much, Ambassador, for being here with us. Your assessment of the veiled warning that's coming from the Prime Minister, clearly lashing out at Pakistan's role when it comes to cross-border terrorism and also Pakistan's role in Afghanistan.
Look, if you take the Prime Minister's program, he first went to the Quad. And terrorism remained a very important subject there, and Afghanistan also. So this had been spoken with the United States. It got confidence. He had the Australians there. Therefore, he was able to come out very firmly, because already word had got around about what he had said. And therefore, he didn't mince his words about terrorism. There are problems there because the Taliban is really unpredictable. But if they continue the way they are continuing, with the sort of atrocities against women, arbitrary hanging of people, then I'm afraid that they are not going to get a sanctions waiver. The sanctions will continue, as much against the Taliban leaders themselves. Half a dozen of their ministers are on the wanted list for terrorism. So I think in those circumstances, what the PM said was absolutely timely. It was also to remind the international community that there were serious problems of terrorism and they had to be addressed. And there was a need to be pretty precise in the way we went about it. And therefore, he had created already the climate for people to know what it was, and that he was speaking on the basis of the support we had got in the Quad from such important powers as the United States, Japan, and Australia. So that was absolutely the reason. And I think one more point is that we did not name anybody for the terrorism, because that was self-evident as to who's responsible. And therefore, the point was more tellingly made. And I think those who have been wanting to rush to embrace the Taliban, bring them into the UN, perhaps give few of them even a Nobel Prize, they will have to think afresh. Because this is a serious problem to humanity. And the way women are being treated arbitrarily and whipped,
yes.
Is that the way? Is that the sort of civilizational level you want from a member of the UN?
Yes, Ambassador, let's also talk about the meetings that the Indian Prime Minister has held in Washington, D.C., the very crucial bilaterals with Australia, Japan, and of course the US President. Do you have a sense that India has been able to achieve what it hoped to when it comes to the Afghanistan crisis? The Quad summit as well was a crucial opportunity for India to talk about terrorism and to also talk about the Afghanistan crisis, which has far-reaching implications for the entire region, particularly for India.
Yes, but I think what really created the worldwide impression was this talk about 1.2 billion vaccines coming out next year, largely spearheaded by India, which they want us to, as we expand our production capabilities of vaccines. Then there was the whole thing about we've even spoken about the innovation by way of tablet vaccines, which has caught the interest of the international community. And we're going to commence in a measured way, because we have our own huge demand, export of vaccines soon. The pressing issue confronting the world today is the pandemic. The shortage of, not just in the Indo-Pacific region, but also in Africa, of vaccines. And it's very important of the support that this was not just done by India. It was a group which included two major economic powers, the United States, Japan, and also Australia, which is prepared to make its contributions. So it was really to catch that human element that we are focused on the world as the Quad, which was important. And then went the message out on terror and terrorism. So I think all in all, this, and therefore the speech at the UN followed this. But in the UN, we did not name anybody, like we did not name anybody who was responsible for terrorism. Everyone is now internationally aware because of everyone sees what's happened in the Financial Action Task Force. And India's hope is that would be carried further.
Absolutely. Well, I just want to take a cue from that very point that you're mentioning. Without naming either of its neighbors, be it Pakistan or China, veiled warnings but very clear messages at the same time. Ambassador, do you agree? The Prime Minister did not mince any words when it comes to India's stance on cross-border terrorism, on clamping down on expansionism in the oceans. That, of course, was also a reference to China. That comment also, the very fact that the Prime Minister was talking about the climate change issue and then teamed that up with the issue of expansionism in oceans, also a very interesting takeaway.
Very interesting, because the other members, Japan has a maritime boundary dispute with China, but then China has a maritime dispute with virtually every one of its maritime neighbors. If you take up from southwards Taiwan, from South Korea, from Japan, Vietnam, down below Indonesia, Malaysia, Brunei, there's no neighbor with whom whose territory China has not seized, and specifically continues to remain in occupation after an International Court of Justice verdict saying that its claims were not acceptable in international law. So I think the aim now is to make it clear to China, and this is a fact of life of the Quad, that it is violating international law, it's bullying smaller neighbors, and this has come to the attention of the international community. Yes, people are afraid, given China's economic power, to take it on, but it is not an issue which is going to go away. It's been raised in the Quad, and even France, which may have its differences with the Quad, would be one with us on this. So, yes, there was much to say, much to be done, but it was done in a spirit of teamwork. We have done pretty well our homework before these were discussed, and there was no problem in getting support from the four major powers over there.
Ambassador, also your assessment of the key takeaways overall from the Indian Prime Minister's visit to the US now that it has wrapped up, and what lies ahead? Where does the partnership between India and the US go from here onwards? This visit has been a crucial milestone in boosting that relationship and taking it forward.
Well, to put it humorously, we made Mr. Biden had a laugh, saying that we had carried out a research of how many Bidens there were in India, and we told him there were 5. So I think the atmosphere was good. I said we were very pleased with the reference to the fact that we were going to turn out over 1.2 billion vaccines during the course of next year. That as a group we were going to help, and one must thank Japan, Australia, and the US for their financial contributions. But I think what has happened is there was a lot of skepticism about the Quad, especially about when the differences arose between the US and UK and France on the other, who was a great ally, and France has a huge presence in some of the islets of the Indo-Pacific, on the Pacific side. So we hope that that will be sorted out, because the Quad needs as many partners as it can get, and especially if a major major powers like France should be made to retain their interests, and that's what we're working at.
Ambassador Parthasarathy, leaving it there for the moment. A pleasure to have you on the show as always.
Thank you very much.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.